lower right-hand corner of the app, lower right-hand corner of the ESPN app. More, click it. Scroll down to live radio. We're right there. You can see us on ESPNU. You can download the podcast. We're on your smart speakers. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. Just telling you, everyone looked at me sideways early in the season when I said, Patrick Mahomes is one. If I had to pick any other quarterback, Justin Herbert might be better this way, but like the guy who I feel is going to be living deep in the playoffs is Joe Burrow.
That's where I need
Everyone
the tape.
looked at me sideways.
100%.
Please go get the tape.
Max have been saying Joe Burrow's going to be in the playoffs and live
deep in the playoffs.
He said what he just said. He said it. Look, he's going to repeat that 17,000 times because Joe Burrow's winning, and so Max wants to let everybody know that he picked Joe Burrow, which he had. He did. He ain't lying.
Key, it's what you said, the old Bill Parcells. Something good always happens for that guy, right?
You ain't lying about that.
Look, he's a good player.
Of course he's a good player.
He's got Kansas City's number.
But Key, it's the stuff. It's not just like sometimes we emphasize too much he's got the it factor. He's big. He can move. He has a strong, accurate arm. He reads defenses. But he does have that thing where it's like you feel like he's going to win. And to get Patrick Mahomes 3 times in a row, like Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, all these dudes must be looking at Burrow like, damn, this dude. Because that's the guy you got to get over is Patrick Mahomes.
Josh Allen gets Patrick Mahomes in the regular season, too. So I'm not I get it. Joe Burrow went into KC and he won last year and put him in the Super Bowl. I got it. I understand it. But it wasn't a blowout. It was 27-24 in the end. Joe Burrow had a nice game. He was very efficient. He got some stud receivers, and it's a bad matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's just a bad matchup.
There were some plays, though, Key. I mean, he did what you say to do, even dropped back a little more, 25 of 31, 2 TDs and a rushing score.
He dropped back one time more.
But I'll tell you what, though. One time more, exactly. There was that play to T. Higgins. Like, I will get into Heineke later on. But sometimes you say, well, the game doesn't just come down to one play and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but the play that ended the game, they should have sacked Joe Burrow, and T. Higgins was, the corner was all over T. Higgins, and they somehow, it's both sides, of course, quarterback, receiver, but that was it. Game's over.
In that situation on 4th down, or was it 3rd down?
No, it was they just, because it was the clock, so they just needed to have a first down, and the game was over.
I know, but what was that? He converted on 3rd down.
Third down.
Yeah, so look, I give the credit to Joe Burrow. It's a simple slant route, right, over the middle. But T. Higgins has got to play big boy ball right there. That's why I pay T. Higgins $27 to $30 million because that play right there is why they beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because that's big boy ball. The throw is cool, but to be
Catch
able,
was better. Yep.
Yeah, to be able to put your body there, knowing the guy is draped all over you on your back, that's big boy football, man.
See, I know, Key, everybody will go towards the offense, right? Joe Burrow, and I get it. And T. Higgins, you're right about that because he's a stud. And Jamar Chase, welcome with your first game back, by the way. You get a big win. We'll see what this team could be like with Joe Mixon back in the lineup, too, when he comes back off that concussion protocol. But I want to give the Bengals defense some love, man. They didn't allow the Chiefs to score 1 point in the 4th quarter. And that rip key that they had on Travis Kelce, I mean, that was a difference,
man. Knowing the journey's over.
I was wondering why he didn't get down. He kept trying to fight for extra yardage, and I get that yak, man. But that was the play of the game.
Sometimes when you're as good as Kelce, you think everything is going to go perfect for you, and he would like to have that back.
Yeah.
Because at some point, knowing the journey is over. Don't keep because if you keep trying to fight, somebody's coming. And when that somebody's coming, you're not going to see it and feel it because you focused in on the people in front of you. Now when somebody comes from the side and they grab on and they get the ripping, eventually that thing is going to come out, pop out, and that's exactly what happens. So knowing the journey is over and get your tail down.
Look, Josh Allen's a cyborg sent from the future to destroy Patrick Mahomes. I get it. I've been saying that. If I could have anyone not named Patrick Mahomes, it would be Joe Burrow. But listen, because I like the guy who's good and good things happen for him. Listen to Joe Burrow talk about Patrick Mahomes.
It was a tight game that, that's how it's going to be when we play those guys. Patrick is the best in the game right now, so whenever you play him, it's always going to be close.
I mean, he gave it up. Patrick's the best in the game right now. He gave it up, but he said right now. In other words, I hear that like
Max, don't go there. He's saying right now as to say the way that the game is going, right now, that's the way it's going to be. But he ain't saying it as if I'm going to catch up to him and pass him. And no, so don't go there, Mac.
I'm going right
I know
there.
what you're trying to do.
I'm going right there.
Hold on, before you get there, Key, you as an offensive guy, how'd you feel about Kansas City going for the field goal at the end of the game instead of actually going for it? Because I heard Patrick Mahomes talk about it, like, yeah, we have one of the best kickers in the game, we're okay. But at that moment, where that position where you are in the field, don't you want to go for it in that particular situation?
Not with that kicker. I mean, I don't have, you know what I'm saying? In that situation.
I hear you don't have to, but
but when I got a kicker like that, that's one of the better kickers in the game, and it's almost like it's automatic. You're like, okay, I'd play to go into overtime because I like my chances if it goes that way.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
like,
I hear you.
If it was a lesser quarterback, let's say it wasn't Patrick Mahomes, I wouldn't want to take my chances in overtime. I would say, okay, we need to finish this deal right now.
The difference between, I know it's a regular season win, Josh Allen's beating him in the regular season too, but the fact is this, and this is why I think it was a bigger psychological game afterward than I realized going in, like the way it felt. Not only has he beaten him in the regular season now, but it's coming off the heels of beating him to get to the Super Bowl, and Mahomes has never beaten Burrow. Like all these teams, as they enter the playoffs,
though,
it could be a matchup, but as they enter the playoffs, when you get to these matchups, when you get to these, the confidence has got to be with Cincinnati right now.
No, you don't lose your confidence. What you do is you go make adjustments. The Philadelphia Eagles used to take us to the woodshed every year in the regular season. They even took us to the woodshed in the playoffs. But we figured out, okay, there's only so much they could do. We figured out that's a bad matchup, so here's what we're getting ready to do. We're getting ready to flip this over here, put that over there, and we're going to make the necessary adjustments, and then guess what we did? We closed down the vet, okay? And then the next year we opened up the link. And so that's because you have to figure out Kansas City doesn't have 3 DBs that cover 3 receivers. That's part of the problem. When you have Higgins and Boyd and Chase now,
teams do.
That's a bad matchup for you.
For a lot of teams. How good can the 49ers be, by the way, with Brock Purdy under center? After Jay has this from Dr. Pepper.
I don't want to
He
talk
was
about
pretty
the 49ers.
yesterday.
Stop it. The most wonderful time of the year continues to roll along. College football season. Dr. Pepper and the residents of Fansville invite you to revel in another one-of-a-kind year of flexing your foam finger, humming your school's fight song in your sleep, and thriving on a steady diet of buffalo chicken dip and post-game day commentary, all washed down with a rich, delicious Dr. Pepper, of course. Another Saturday is always just around the corner, so make sure your tailgate doesn't turn into a failgate and pick up a case of ice-cold Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
Hey, it's Greeny. Lots to talk about on Monday. The Eagles win their 11th game. Aaron Rodgers beats the Bears again. The Jets lose a heartbreaker, and the playoff committee gets it exactly right. It's Greeny, starting 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This is Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.